do you have a template that you work in?
Yeah, I do. I actually learned this from Fabian. It just brings up the vocals for me, and it just gives it like an extra like edge, especially when I'm doing like rap vocals. But I also put it on singers too. But with the singers, I just dial it back a little. It was like my second time going to NAMM. I started meeting like a bunch of people like 2018, I think it was, and that's kind of how I grew my network. So I really just have 4 plugins on my leads or like my.
Hey, real quick, just had a huge favor that I wanted to ask you, and that is, could you please subscribe to the channel? It would mean so much to the growth of this podcast, as well as ensure that we're able to do more and more cool things on this channel on a weekly basis. So once again, it would mean so much. It would be a huge favor to us, and it would help us so much. Please subscribe to the channel. Okay, now, back to your episode. All right, so how you guys doing?
Man, I'm here.
You're here. You are breathing. You're alive. I appreciate you.
How you guys doing is a weird way to start. Hey, man. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Can I tell you something?
What's up,
I was
bro?
in the bathroom, and let me tell you why we not friends.
Oh, my goodness.
I was just in the bathroom, and when I seen your feet, right? Wait,
all right.
So I see your feet, and I was like, I didn't want to say nothing because I was like, I think that's Courtney, but I don't want to be like, yo, bro. And I was like, I don't. But you ain't say nothing to me when I came in, bro.
I knew it was you too.
So why you didn't say nothing?
Because you was in the bathroom.
Yo, I went next to.
I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes it's your private time, man.
You know, but
Sometimes,
acknowledge me, bro. Like, it's just me and you in the bathroom.
Nah.
I was so thrown off.
Because what if he was wrong?
What's wrong?
Hey, man. From the stall, you see a
I looked under and I was like, is that Courtney?
Looking under is crazy.
Because I thought it was my
I
face,
say
bro.
that correctly.
Now you're right. My fault.
I just looked at the floor and I saw feet. You didn't look under.
My fault.
It's 2024.
So,
sneak a peek.
Anyway, just to let everybody know, right now we are at the EngineEars HQ. Big shout out to Mixed by Ali and the whole staff over at EngineEars for letting us use this space and the whole nine. Just let you know where it is. I'll leave a link in the description for EngineEars as well. We're in a different room. We're in a different place than we're usually recording.
Huh? You know what that means.
You know what that means?
You know what that means.
Today we have a very special guest.
Facts.
Right now we have someone that I'm gonna let her kind of go through a few things that she has going on in the whole nine. I've tried to scour the internet for stuff, but she's a little bit of a mystery for me. But I found things, and we're gonna talk about it and really pick her brain today and really get some gems and understand things. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a Grammy-nominated engineer.
One of the most, I would say, especially on this couch, one of the most decorated, and it's like, what's the word? It just blanked on me. Goodness, I had like a great vocab word to describe. But one of the most accomplished recording engineers, especially for the music we consume.
For sure.
She's recorded and tracked a lot of things.
That's right.
That we bump. I'll let you continue.
Including Lil Wayne. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Cristal Viramontes. Crystal, how are you? Crystal, how are you?
Good, thank you guys for having
Now,
me.
what I will say is, you came in and I know you was like, you was kind of like, walking a little like funny, and I was like, what's going on with you? So you have a little like ACL injury. What's up with that?
Tripped over some XLRs, huh?
That's what I said.
I was balling too hard.
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
She was dunking on these engineers.
Oh, deep facts. Nah, when she came in with it, I was like, yo, I was like an engineer with an injury. I was like, yeah, that's wild. I never seen that before.
Hey, man, sometimes when you put up too many shots, man, too many reps, man.
So, Crystal, the first thing we like to ask everybody when they sit is, what was your DAW journey? So what was the first door that you started in as far as music, and then where are you now?
Like official DAW?
Official DAW. Like not even, it could be
a
mad,
game,
it could be mad unofficial.
An app.
I was thinking about that because I knew you guys were going to ask. Would it count if it was me recording from the radio?
Oh, like Box Pro, like
No. So what this was when I was a kid. I don't know how I even figured this out on my own without the internet, because
right,
there's no Google back then. So I got just a blank cassette tape and just recorded from the radio, straight from the radio onto the cassette tape.
Yo, we're around the same age.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you trying to catch your favorite song.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you hit record. We old as hell. I ain't gonna lie. So you would. Yeah, that was the first time.
A lot of people did, right? It was common, but I don't know how I thought about, like, how I figured it out.
Right.
Because I didn't have anybody around to, like,
teach you that.
Yeah,
you just saw a record button. It was like, this makes sense, and that was it. And
but then, like, and then you could like flip it, you know, and then just do
Side
other
B.
ones.
Yeah.
Facts. Okay, so tape. So on
But-
tape, which
but-
is hilarious.
But I didn't know what I was doing at
Right.
that time, so I don't know if I would count that. But yeah,
Right.
that was
It
the
is
thing.
tracking if you think about it.
It's tight tracking.
is.
So that was her
Tracking.
first tracking experience. You imagine a parent see their kid doing and be like, you know what? You know,
I know where you belong.
recording engineer. Okay.
I didn't even know what a recording engineer was at that time.
At that time,
So-
right.
And then, like 7th grade,
Uh-huh.
during like the LimeWire era,
Yeah.
there was Audacity. So I was trying to figure out how to like record songs onto Audacity, but not like my own, but like
Yeah.
like free songs.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense.
Oh, she been pirated for years. Basically, she talking about her whole scam. Like, I got to record it for because I was trying to get some music for
Well,
free.
I got Audacity from LimeWire, but
Okay.
it didn't work.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Terrible.
Shout out LimeWire, man. We haven't given them their flowers. On
That's
this
a
pod.
fact. Shout out to y'all in court too. So okay, from Audacity.
So after that,
Uh-huh.
I did go to audio school for a little bit, and I got introduced to Pro Tools and Cubase.
Gotcha.
I liked Cubase, but the standard is Pro Tools. So
Got you. Understood.
I've been Pro Tools, I guess, since I've started
Right.
engineering.
Okay.
I wanted to keep on Cubase for like making beats and stuff, but I haven't really dove into like being focused on making beats. So.
Right, got you. Okay, so
Yeah.
you definitely Pro Tools, and now you're landed in Pro Tools, and that's your dog
Yeah,
choice, of
pretty
course.
much.
Right.
I use FL a little bit,
Come
but
on, man.
He like that.
I
He
know.
like that. He like that.
no, but I don't like it for recording
Right.
because
hurts.
you have to route every clip to its own like
its
bus,
track.
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
so crazy because
Yeah.
like when people send me sessions that they recorded in FL, like I just
Wait, you've gotten sessions in FL?
See?
yes, they
Because I record all of my own. I record everything in FL. I make the beat and everything stays in FL until I
no,
send it
but
to mixing.
they'll export it from FL and they
Right.
don't know how to export because they don't know
Yeah.
about like
The routing
Yes.
of it, and so you
That makes
get it,
sense,
and
yeah.
you see master, current. You see
see
a bunch of
yes, but I'm
Yeah.
also missing like clips, like
Certain-
if
yeah,
they
little
punch
bars,
in
yeah.
like certain lines.
and it's not on the track. It's
I
Got
won't,
you.
yeah, I don't.
So
get
if that
all of
wasn't
it.
in 5 and you
Yeah.
have it just loose, it doesn't even go to like
It
5,
doesn't-
like
unless
the bus
you manually
5.
put it to 5.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's why I've always had issues just with y'all. Like I said, just the routing. Like that's why I'm like, I can't record in this because like how I could just throw a bus in a scene and stuff like that is just no, I can't.
You know,
Yeah, no.
God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers.
He
man.
But I
does.
will say it has some cool effects, you
Right.
know, for producing.
Okay.
But I would never record in it, and I don't like when people send me sessions from FL. But if I have to, then I.
Then you got to do what
Yeah.
you got to do.
That's a-
Yeah.
But I don't like it.
She's not
attack.
on the
No, no,
island
no, no,
alone.
of course, for
This
sure,
is a
for sure.
sentiment we all echo.
Absolutely.
I want to ask you. You said you went to audio school. What audio school did you go to?
It was Pinnacle College in Alhambra.
Oh, got you. Okay.
shout
It
out.
shut down.
Oh wow,
Like a
it's
lot
not
of
there.
the audio schools.
Right.
Yeah, I was back in 2013, so it was a while ago.
Wow, got you.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a full cell head, so that's why we're full cell head. So
Yeah.
that's why like audio schools are okay.
No, but
cool.
it wasn't as big as Full Sail. It was like a
Right.
smaller school.
Uh-huh.
It only had 2 locations.
right.
But they shut down like I think like a couple years after I finished.
Like you finished.
Yeah.
And what did you what was your like it was like recording arts or
Yeah, I was recording arts. Yeah, I didn't finish, but
say less. A lot of people don't
I
get it
didn't
twisted.
finish,
It's the dropout side.
But that was
Come on,
that
man.
was the degree that I was supposed to get.
All
For
good.
real.
So like where did you go from audio school? Like did you go to like interning? Like what did you do
No,
after?
I didn't. So I actually so I didn't know anybody, you know, in like the industry.
Right.
So I was applying for jobs like in the industry like crazy, but you know, nobody would give me a shot because I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
I
Right.
literally had
Nothing.
nothing.
Right.
So what I did, which is so crazy, thinking back, like I don't know why I did this. So I did work like shortly for like a DSP company.
Okay.
Like doing like metadata and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's not the same, you know.
Of course.
It was close, but,
Right.
but not the
Oh
same.
my God. I know your era because I would just try to get close to my industry. Like, yo, I'm in music at least. So like, yeah.
Yeah. So what I did is I ended up moving to Chicago because I thought like, oh, I have less competition out there.
Got you. I
But
understand.
it didn't work.
Around what time too? Is this like like the Chief Keef era of Chicago?
This was like
Dirk and-
2016, 2017.
Yeah, so
Got you.
yeah, there's a lot of
Roughly around
There was still a
time.
lot of indie artists
And
too
they-
back
and they
in.
loved-
Independent music was popping
They
too.
loved recording the FL.
They damn sure did. We had a lot of music out of FL that
Shout
era.
out, shout out Young Chop.
For sure.
That's
Young child.
hilarious.
So from Chicago, where did you go from Chicago?
Well, I came back.
Okay.
Like, I was there for 2 years. So in Chicago, I ended up getting a job at Shure.
Okay.
the microphone company.
Uh-huh.
So it was close.
Yeah,
You know,
you get
close.
closer,
It
right?
was close.
Right.
I still talk to a lot of people from there.
Nice.
One of my favorite companies that I've worked for sure.
Uh-huh.
And then
Double entendre.
For sure.
That was unintentional.
That's hard though, for
You've been
sure.
around Wayne too much. I see it.
So I moved back and I got a job at Yamaha.
Okay.
Because of
Nice.
the job that I had at Shure.
Right.
So that was like kind of like it helped. And I went to NAMM. It was like my second time going to NAMM.
Right.
And I started meeting like a bunch of people like 2018, I think it was.
Okay.
And that's kind of how I grew my network.
Wow.
Was through people that I met at NAMM. Like
Right.
pretty much, if it wasn't for NAMM and specifically the EngineEars booth at NAMM,
Right.
like I don't know where I would be because that's
That's
where I
fire.
met everybody.
Right. Right.
Everybody that's been important to like my
Your growth and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I'm happy you speak on how important that natural networking is because there's a bunch of people that are leaving school or are just new to the industry, don't have a foot in, but they just love it that much. You know what I mean? So I'm happy you did speak to how you got that started because that's the number one question I feel like we always get. How do I get a foot in the door?
Yeah.
And it's not always as easy as
As far as network,
being
and that's
dope.
honestly fairly recent too. Like 2018, like
Yeah.
you saying like my network started. Like
Yeah.
what? I guess I don't want to say like who you owe a lot to, but like what was like the big like. Yo, I'm in. You know what I mean? As far as like just getting more into professional settings, like from EngineEars and stuff.
I would say Fabian for sure.
Yeah, dope.
Fabian.
Okay.
I met him at NAMM.
Okay.
Yeah.
dope.
So
Right.
like,
Wow.
That's
so
what's up.
He's been a big part of like my journey and stuff.
That's what's up.
So I had met Fabian. This was like 2018, I think, or 19. I don't remember the year, but they like you can meet somebody, but they're not gonna be like, "Yo, like
Sure.
come to the studio,"
Yeah.
you know. Like
Yeah.
they gotta see that you're serious because
Yeah.
I know a lot of engineers that they say they want to engineer, they want to intern for me,
Right.
But if I don't see them taking themselves serious, and it's hard for me to take them serious,
Right.
But that's kind of what people did to me too. Like they saw me, they were rooting for me, but they wanted me to take a chance on myself before they could come and like
Invest.
try to help,
Right.
You know,
Into you.
and that's really what I had to do, and,
Right.
and I think it's important for anybody that's trying to do this is like to like really believe in yourself first before.
Right. And you lead,
Yeah.
obviously that network is crazy. Because it's, I think it's important for people to hear that like trajectory of what you had where it's like, yo, you graduated college. What year was it?
2013.
Gotcha. So think about that. 2013. Well, you attended college, my fault. 2013, and then from 2018, you fast forward to 2018, and it's kind of like, okay, this one kind of NAMM event is what kind of like, got your feet wet and got you broken in. So I think that's really important for people to see like you working at Shure, Yamaha, and how you can just move up a ladder of just like
Yeah.
what you're trying to do and staying in the circle.
Well,
of it.
it's really hard though because the Shure job.
This episode is supported by Colossal, and today we're excited to tell you about Drops, their brand new product for producers and beat makers. When selling beats and collaborating with artists online, us producers are jumping around to different apps. File sharing, emails, DMs, and payments, and it can get really overwhelming to stay on top of it all. This is where Drops by Colossal comes in. It brings together all the essential tools and simplifies the whole beat buying and selling experience. Creating a drop is super fast. Just upload your beat to Colossal and you get a unique drop link that you can share with artists in DMs on your socials. Drop is one of the best experiences that you as a producer can give to an artist that you work with. It looks amazing. An artist can buy a license in seconds. And when you sell a beat, you instantly get paid to your PayPal account. Drops is free to use with no subscription fees and available right now. Sign up at colossal.fm/producers to get started.
Like my professional experience before that was I was working in car dealerships, so it was very different than like music,
Right.
But I was able to get that job, and that kind of just helped me move away from like the car stuff,
Right.
Because I was making a lot of money there,
Sure.
so it's hard
Yeah.
to leave.
Yeah.
It's hard to leave something that's secure for something that you don't even know if it's gonna work.
Right.
So I think that's what a lot of the engineers that I meet that haven't really fully taken the leap yet is they're just afraid of like letting go of their day job.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Because you never know,
Right.
But once you take that leap, I feel like everybody just wants to help you because they see that you're like believing in
Absolutely.
yourself.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
like jumping off the ledge.
It's always been, I'll attest to you with that because I remember when I had my like 9 to 5 like years ago before everything else, I remember like, damn, I can't quit until I'm making just as much or more in the other thing. But the thing that kind of sucks is if you got a job, like a day-to-day 9-to-5 job that's like making buku dollars,
it's like,
it makes the jump so much harder.
Yeah, because it's not just paying the bills, like my lifestyle changes.
Yeah.
And that's super scary.
You got to be serious about it though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
I never even like put it like that, but yeah, you're 100% correct. Wow.
Heck yeah.
So I want to talk. I don't know if I'm skipping steps. I do want to talk about because I like this progression in from going to school to finding a career in I guess the industry. I want to see like now that we're in the industry, right? And I'm seeing you go from making those almost like baby steps into big stair steps from like the G Pericos and doing assistant engineering. I know you got the Vori joint all the way to the greatest rapper ever. How does that happen?
Well, so with all of the artists that I work with in LA, so when I got the studio, so I got my own studio.
Yes, in North Hollywood, correct?
North Hollywood,
okay,
yeah.
cool.
So after like I met like all those people that year at NAMM, I met this one guy. His name is Jag. He's also an engineer. And this was at the same NAMM that I met everybody.
So popping NAMM that year. Damn, I'm like, what?
It was the
NAMM?
first year that Ali did EngineEars booth. Like the very first year.
Got you.
I think it was 18 or 19. I don't remember.
Okay.
It was that year. And so there was a dude at the EngineEars booth that was like, hey, like he hit me up on Instagram. He's like, I think I just saw you like at the EngineEars booth.
Right.
And I was like, oh. And he's like come meet my friend. And he introduced me to his friend Jag, who owned a studio in Alhambra, ironically. And so I started kind of working with him because that was my only like opportunity to work in a real studio.
Right.
Because even though I knew people, I didn't know people that would give me an opportunity to like work, And also I was living in Orange County at this time.
Right.
So like it was hard to like get a gig out here.
Yeah.
Because, you live far or whatever.
Right.
So I was working with him, and he had his own studio, and then the pandemic hit.
Right.
And and I was like, I was getting more serious about like engineering.
Right.
And I was still working at Yamaha, and I had 2 clients. I remember, and I was looking at studios because Jag inspired me to get my own studio.
Right.
So I met these guys that I'm actually like really good friends with now. And I told them like, hey, like they had good studios in North Hollywood.
Right.
They had their own business for a long time. And I was like, I want to get my own studio. And they're like, well, how many clients do you have?
Right.
And I was like, I have 2.
Right.
And he's like, don't do it. He's like, because you don't have enough demand right now. But I did it anyway, and it worked.
Nice.
Look at that.
Nice.
We love
He was
that.
like, nah, bro, like,
It worked because once I got the studio, like my friend Salah says, he says, like, once you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
So once I got the studio, it was during the pandemic. Everybody was living on social media.
Yeah.
Everybody was posting me. I was going viral.
Yup.
Not like a million viral, but
like you was being
thousands.
seen.
So
Right.
everybody was just pulling up.
Right.
And then so with the LA artist, this was like September 2020, right? So I got the studio in June 2020.
Okay.
So it's only been like 3 months.
Damn.
And I'm already just growing every single day. Like
Right.
I had to quit my job at Yamaha because I was like,
It was busted.
I can't do both.
He was like, yo, bro, that's good though. That's good.
during
Amazing
the pandemic,
project.
Yeah.
So
right.
it was,
I gotta quit my job during the pandemic. Is crazy.
it was
right.
crazy.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get unemployment, So I wasn't,
yeah.
I was not, I was just, whatever they were paying me, I was taking it.
Right.
And just reinvesting it back into the studio. But, so in September, which was like 3 months after that, I had this artist, AZ Chaik, who's a big LA artist. He booked a session next door to me with Jag because I got a studio next to him.
Got you.
And Jag was double booked by accident, so they gave me the session.
Right.
And then after that, like all of I just started going viral.
Snowballed like
And
from
then like
there.
just everybody was just wanting to work with me, so shout out Chaik.
That's what's
but
up.
yeah, and then I also worked with this producer, my guy Mars.
Oh, shout out Mars. We had him on. Yeah.
I
We've had
worked
him
with
on.
him. Actually, I forgot to put that in there, but yeah, during that time I also was interning for Mars.
Right.
But I had my own studio too, so I was just doing a lot.
That's crazy.
I was doing a lot.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I was doing a lot, and
Right.
so like I was meeting people through him.
Right.
And I had my own clients. I had so much going on.
Right.
And everybody was just seeing this on the internet.
Right.
So that made them want to help me.
Sure.
Because they saw me like taking it serious.
Right.
And so Dawson, do you guys know Dawson?
From where?
He's an engineer. So I met him at the same NAMM, okay?
This is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Yo, this might be like the Hall of Fame
yeah.
NAMM.
This is so crazy.
What?
So but we only like exchanged like a couple words, and we followed each other on Instagram. Because that's what we would do at the EngineEars booth. Is just like
Connect.
follow people, you know?
Yeah.
So we exchanged info one time, and then we kept in touch a little bit, but not a lot.
Right.
And I saw him working on the Donda sessions, and I was like, oh, like that's so dope. Like congrats, you know?
Right.
And then out of nowhere, he just was like, yo, like, we need an engineer in LA. Like, are you free? So that was like crazy.
And how you got on the Donda stuff.
Yes, because of him. So shout out him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just like kind of just started happening because I was taking myself serious and people saw me working.
Yeah.
And so like Fabian, you know, we were still like in contact and stuff. And he also like helped me like, you know, help him, I guess, with you know, assisting and stuff.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of how everything
just came together. This is so recent too.
Yeah.
Like this is not that long ago.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Wow. The NAMM that you did your secret studio with Gaurav for Pro Tools.
Yes, that was
I forgot what year was that.
21.
That was 21.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was after that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. 'Cause
Actually, no, that was 22.
22. Okay, so it's
yeah.
a little
It was
bit
after
after.
that,
Yeah. Because I was wondering, I was like, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, you know, you talk about studio ownership, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is powerful because I know there's a lot of people watching that, you know, one day want to build a studio
Mm-hmm.
or are trying to get into like being a recording engineer that has their own studio. What would you say, right? Priority wise, when you're buying equipment, right? What is how do you prioritize that, right? Where you're like, okay, I'm going for preamps this weekend. If I make more money, then I'm gonna change this. Like, what was your process like buying equipment?
Well, I had a twin.
Okay.
I had a twin. And I also was at the same
You bought
at the same NAMM. So this is the thing, like with NAMM. It's a cheat code. You just have to go and talk to other manufacturers.
Right. Yeah.
And you know I got a hookup. You know, but I was not. I was just a random person. Like, but you just gotta go and talk to them.
Right. Yeah.
So I got a hookup on some Apollo stuff.
Right.
And I got an X8 or X6. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Enough channels,
Yeah.
ins and outs. Right.
Yeah.
Tons. Right.
And a Bay 1073. I know the Neve is like the popular one, but
shoot, like I'm just saying, like for you to just be at NAMM, like bet. Like,
no, but the Bay I didn't get a discount on. I just bought it.
Oh,
but
bet, okay.
it was my Sweetwater card, you know, just
you
tight.
saw that?
I got one now
finance.
too.
So I had that, and then I had bought a $700 Neumann 102.
Wow.
Got
And
you.
it sounds really good. Like
Right.
Yeah.
everybody that was pulling up was like, "Damn, this is the clearest I've ever sounded."
Interesting.
So, and
that.
you know, I wasn't charging that much at that
Right,
time, so
right.
it was like a great deal.
Yeah.
And they
Right.
sounded good.
Right.
And you know, I think outside of that, like just being a good like people person.
Right.
You know.
Right.
One artist that I worked with. He was in the booth and I heard him like struggling. This is like early on.
Yeah.
He was like struggling a little bit. So I offered him water and he's like, nobody, like I recorded with so many engineers and nobody has ever offered me water.
Hey, let me show you something real quick. EngineEars gives artists access to top quality audio engineers ready to get your song prepped for release. Book mixing and mastering engineers at affordable rates and pay how you prefer with their flexible payment options. And when your song is ready to ship, you can release it directly to your fans from the site. Check out EngineEars today. My God.
So just, you know, just little things like that
That's crazy.
is what makes people come back. Because at the end of the day, it's customer service. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
You are in the customer service business
Yes,
for sure.
for sure.
So you, and bless that man's heart, you know, that no one offered you water, bro. You know, ever. Bless your heart. You know, it just as far as you even saying your setup, right? Like I'm looking at your setup, I'm like, oh, that's a very simple setup, but you was getting the job done with those tools, you know?
Yes.
So you had the TLM 102, you had the BAE 1073, and you had the Apollo X8 or 16. From there, right? Obviously, business was starting to boom and stuff like that. What was like the next piece that you were like, I'm gonna grab that next?
I didn't change anything.
Wow, you just-
for a long
right,
time.
right,
You know?
right.
Just because I don't know. I just felt like if I bought more stuff, I would have to charge more.
Right.
And I was within my clients' like budget.
Right.
Because at this time, like they're all I have. You know, like they're the only people that I'm working with.
Right.
So you have overhead, you know, and then like I took on like extra bills like in my personal life.
Right.
So I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
you know.
Right.
So for a while,
So you had to stay in that pocket for
it
your
was just
clients
that.
and stuff,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it's getting the job done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's such a just a testament to you don't need everything. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
for sure.
Because we like to buy impulsively and overbuy in a sense. Even if it comes down to just in the box, all the plugins that we fucking
Sure.
hoard and shit like that. So I love hearing that.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's important also to obviously even say like, yo, I'm still on that. You know what I mean? Because it's like one of those things is like, no, it works. And this is kind of like the sound you've curated and you know that equipment. We try to stress to people sometime, or, you know, we hear a lot of engineers say like, you know, instead of thinking, oh, let me go buy the latest, greatest this and all the time, it's like if you just sit and learn like that core stuff that you bought and get nice with it. Like there's some kid right now that's on that Focusrite going crazy.
Yeah,
and then one day, you know, when you upgrade, I noticed the difference. Like when I was younger, I used to have I was recording an inbox, the original.
Oh, I had one of those.
Yeah. Which one? The little gray one?
No, but it wasn't. It was an Avid one. It was just like a small black Avid one.
Yeah. Okay.
And it came with like
Uh-huh.
a educational license or something.
Wow. Okay.
But it was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. Even I'm like, wait, Abbott, put us on. I don't know what the hell that is. They need a museum. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, for real.
So I was recording a little, the gray one back in the day.
I
the
remember
original.
those. They had
That-
those in my college.
Yeah, they was the OGs. So I was
Yeah.
recording on those, and I got so like good at that that I remember the next interface I upgraded to was like an RME interface, and I remember listening to the difference after like being in murdering that for years, and I was like, oh my, like I just knew like, and it wound up making me like pull back on a lot of things in my DAW because I was like, oh, I don't need this anymore.
Gotcha.
So my question to you as a recording engineer, right? A lot of times we hear about y'all just using templates and stuff like that. Do you have a template that you work in?
Yeah, I do. It's very, very simple.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny because I actually learned this from Fabian. He told me like just like less is more.
Right.
So I really just have 4 plugins on my leads or like my aux.
Right.
Yeah.
And simple reverb. Like I don't when I'm recording, like I make it sound really good,
Right.
like the bounce, but I don't use a lot of stuff just
Right.
because like I feel like the extra stuff is what slows you down. And not every artist is like the same.
Right.
So maybe I'll add 1 or 2 things if I feel like it needs it, but for
Right.
the most part it's just like 4 plugins on my recording template
And that's it.
and Valhalla.
And Valhalla. I knew. I watched your video, so I knew it. I was like, and Valhalla. What would you say is the 4 like essential plugins that you have like right now?
Pro Q3,
Okay.
our compressor, decapitator, and RVox.
Now I'm gonna ask you a question about the decapitator. What the addition of decapitator? What are you noticing about the sound? So what draws you to decapitator for vocals?
It just brings up the vocals for me, and it just gives it like an extra like edge, especially when I'm doing like rap vocals. But I also put it on singers too. But with the singers, I just dial it back a little bit. But I have like my favorite setting, which I don't remember what it's called in
the plugin.
yeah,
I was
but-
gonna ask you what style is it? Because you know it's like PEQ, like all the letters
I don't remember. It was like it's one that I use.
all the time.
Yeah, it's
set it and forget it.
Yeah, but I
Right.
just adjust like I'll tell you on the what's the left knob is that
There's the mix. There's the tone.
That's the drive knob. I
the
think.
drive.
Drive.
So I have
Yeah.
the drive at 2,
Okay.
and then the tone is like just in the middle, and the mix is at 100. That's pretty much it.
Right, and that's it.
It's very
On this
basic.
default. Wow, okay. I was gonna say there's kids that's gonna hawk you.
Oh, yeah,
And
for
like,
sure.
yo, so like them settings you talking about. So that's why I was like, yo, just let you know.
It just brings it up more. Like I can't explain it.
Got you.
It just brings out the vocal.
The
more for
vocal.
me,
Okay,
you know?
got you. You feel like it makes it a little more bitey, like kind of just
Yeah.
brings out like some harmonics that you like.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What you gonna say?
Are there any plugins you kind of stay away from? Because I know in tracking, latency is everything. So is
Yeah,
there-
I mean, I don't record with UAD plugins.
Got
for
you.
Welcome to
But
the
I
team.
love them for mixing. Like, you know,
Right.
they're on my for sure. And
Right.
well, I do record like in the console with UAD plugins.
Oh, okay.
But not in Pro Tools.
Actual Pro
Gotcha.
Tools. Okay.
So when if I'm not recording at if I'm recording like at a remote location,
Right.
I'll put the Neve on.
Okay.
The UAD console and then the Tube Tech.
I knew it. I was gonna say you use CL1B. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
so just
Okay.
just basic, but
Right.
and sometimes like when I'm mixing, I do use the Tube Tech.
Okay.
After the fact, but just for recording, I feel like those plugins just make it sound good and there's like no latency.
Right.
Yeah.
Just really
And-
clean. Right. And
Yeah,
stuff
and then
like that.
on the master for my recording, I just put like a L2 and then a Pro L2.
And call it a day.
Yeah.
My question to you is this, and this is something that I find interesting. What setting wise, right? Like, what are you looking for from a compression standpoint and gain reduction when you have the CO1B on, for instance? Like, is there like somewhere you're
Very
looking for?
subtle, just
Okay.
very subtle.
Okay.
I don't like to do too much, and especially like if I do work like on a hardware CO1B, I just want it very subtle because I don't want to overcompress.
Right.
That's like my biggest fear.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure, yeah.
Burning everything.
biggest
Burn it, yes,
fear.
burnt it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so just very subtle. And then when I'm mixing it, just very subtle.
Right.
Every step very subtle.
Right.
I also like using when I'm mixing oxide, UAD
Oh, the
oxide.
tape? That tape? Yeah, okay.
Just for like volume, like if I
Got you.
feel like I have everything compressed and I just want to make it louder, I like how it sounds.
Got you. Or is that on your mix bus or just like individual instruments and sounds?
This is like on my vocal bus. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's writing that down? You know what I'm doing.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that.
I've been looking at that. We got it in Spark too, but I just never like downloaded it.
Are there is there anything stock in Pro Tools that you end up going to?
I like the stock EQ.
Respect.
Nah, I'm a hater.
Respect.
I'm the biggest stock.
We got one of the
EQ.
best stock EQs on earth. Go ahead.
Absolutely.
I like the stock EQ. And that was my actual one for my recording template for a long time. Because I used to think that the Q3 gave me like latency, but it didn't.
Right.
You
Okay.
know?
Okay. Now I you know, and I say this sometimes. I feel like when I put Pro Q3 on, like anytime, I always feel like something happens, even in its like default setting. Just a little something happens.
Something?
Yeah. So that's funny you
Yeah.
said that, but
I
go
don't
ahead.
know. I mean, I don't know if that was what it was, but I thought it was. But for the longest, that
Right.
was like my stock
Right.
stock EQ. And then shoot, what's the other one? I use Deverb for my reverse reverb.
Respect.
But I'll use it if Valhalla's not available. I'll use Deverb.
Deverb, got
Yeah.
you straight. Okay.
I like lo-fi.
Yo.
That's the one.
Is that one of the best Pro Tools plugins? Like
It you can use it for so many things.
so many things, vocals,
Yeah.
bass, like mad stuff. Like there's a lot of mixed guys and girls that use it for that. I don't know if it's the distortion, like that distortion, like just adding like 0.1 just
Yeah.
makes it. How do you use it for the most part?
I use it on my 808s,
Uh-huh.
and I also use it to like what my clients would call the underwater effect on the beat.
Oh yeah, put the beat underwater.
Yo, can you put the beat underwater, bro?
Can I be honest? Can I be honest?
What?
Wayne is indirectly responsible for the underwater.
Underwater? That era? Oh, with it starting underwater?
He introduced the people who popularized it very much. That and the stutter vocal.
Oh
Remember
my
YMCMB
gosh.
stutter vocal era?
Is classic. Is it okay if I do a one gotta go with
Yeah,
us?
sure, man.
Okay,
Go
cool.
ahead.
So I got a one gotta go.
See,
for you.
I just want the people to see, like, you know, I'm a trend setter on this podcast.
That's crazy. So now he set the trend. We're 115 episodes. Now I can't do it. Whatever.
I'm kidding, bro.
So
Go
I'm
ahead.
going to ask you, I'm going to throw 3 plugins at you, right?
Okay.
And I want you to tell me which one has to go. Where you're
Gotcha.
like, okay, I don't need that one. All right, 3 plugins is Auto Pan,
Okay.
Reverse, or Verify.
Damn.
I'll be real honest with you, I don't know none of those.
All stock plugins in Pro Tools,
Oh,
by the
gotcha.
way.
I
Oh
was
yeah,
about
I
to say,
forgot
what
to
the
say
hell is
auto
that?
pan.
Yeah.
I forgot to say auto pan.
Yeah.
So
I knew that about you. That's why I was like, I was wondering. Yeah.
But I use all 3 of those.
I know.
Damn. I would say the reverse.
The Reverse. You could do without the Reverse?
Yeah.
Got you.
I mean, I can't, but that would be the one.
that would be the one that you would have to go with. Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Word. I think my big question is, you obviously work with Lil Wayne, who's one of the most not only notable people in our culture, but just as far as work ethic goes, there's a lot of music there. What do you recommend, or what would you say to anyone else who would love to, as an engineer, just work at such a high clip rate like that? What advice would you give? Because I could imagine that's a lot. Like a lot of sessions, a lot of drives, a lot of T7 Samsungs.
Samsung's like hard drives and stuff.
Yeah.
So just like that, like working with a high caliber artist, obviously is is a lot. Like what would you
Especially with that clip rate. Like
I know he records a lot and stuff.
I know the light template does work for sure, because you just gotta have something to go. But is there anything else?
As far as just advice you would give other engineers,
even if it's
as
not
far as
technical,
working.
just paid like studio, how to work the studio with that and shit like that.
I don't know if I can really talk about that.
So don't.
Yeah.
Please don't. Yeah, don't.
Yeah, please.
Right there, yeah, no way. Well, one thing I'll ask you is, as far as just being a studio owner, right? And having people record with you and things of that nature, like what is kind of some etiquette or you can give us for just running a studio? You know what I mean, in general? Like as far as like, obviously it's a customer service business, but I know that there's more under the hood with that. So like, is there anything else like that you can give people as far as that?
Yeah, well, I think just making sure that everything is on point. For me now, like I've been working out of other studios.
Okay.
And just like little things will bother me. Like, for example, you know, some desks, they have like the Furmans, like on the desk. Like if I can't plug in my computer because like the Furman plug is being blocked by like the
by something
compressor
else.
knob.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
just
got
little
you.
things like
It's
that.
what
It's
do I
like
have this year?
you know, like,
blows your
like
mind. Right.
just little things like that, or like the desk is too high, or just it's little things like that, and that leads me to believe that some of them weren't designed by like actual like engineers.
Right.
You know, so it's little things like that that will bother me as an engineer.
Right.
And as a client, I think just making sure that you know your studio is always clean.
Right.
You know, most of the studios have water available. But I've been to studios that don't.
For sure.
You know?
For
Or
sure.
they'll just give you like one water bottle and it's just like, damn, like we're gonna be here for 12 hours.
Your facts here, bro. Like, is there a bathroom? I pray to God.
Yeah. And my studio was more like vibes. Like I just made it like I didn't want the black like walls.
Thank you.
You know, just make it like look like a dungeon. It was very bright. And it smelled good.
It smells good.
It smells good.
Thank you.
Febreze plugins. You
Let's
know,
go. Let's go. I'm so anti-dark studio. I'm not that guy. Like, you know what I mean? It's because at the end of the day, it's like, yo, bro, we're sitting here for 12 hours, like long time.
We lose track of time.
And I don't want to be sad. Like, I'm just like, bro, sometimes I want the room to feel a little bit more alive. So my studio is like that in my basement too, where I could change the lighting to mood it out, but it's, you know, it's a brighter room. You know what I mean? So you walk in and just, your eyes light up, as opposed to coming in, it's like, hey, I'm talking
dark.
like this now, like everything's dark. Like, so thank you for that.
But some people like that's their vibe, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
It was funny because when I first got that studio, you know, I obviously worked with Jag a lot, and he told me like, don't make it too girly, but they loved it.
They
loved
different
it.
vibe.
Yeah,
It's different vibe.
I had an orange couch similar to this.
Right.
People loved it. Like,
Yeah.
it was, you know,
They want to
like-
come into your space. They come
want
to work
aesthetic.
with you.
They
You
want
know,
the aesthetic.
Because when I go to an engineer spot, it's like I'm gonna connect with you. Like it's not. So I want to come in this spot. I'm like, oh, this is dope. And then if we vibe, I'm like, hey, you know what I mean? Like I'm in your house. Like you know what I mean? So I feel like that's important that you show at least your personality through your space and stuff like that. Heck yeah.
Is there anything you would recommend for engineer on the go, like just traveling to a bunch of studios? What should they always have?
Yeah, so I actually I always carry a live mic.
Uh huh.
And I learned this from a writing camp that I did. So I carry a live mic and I carry like I still have my 102.
Okay.
So the live mic is just like if you know you pull up to like a writing session and they want to like just
Scat.
Yeah.
Scratch vocals.
Yeah,
right.
and that's something that I never thought about until I saw a producer pull up with their live mic, and I was like, I need to have one of those.
Yeah.
You know, because when you come prepared, like the artists are like, oh yeah, like they know what they're doing.
Yup.
Like they're on it. Like this is vibes. Or like, you know, just having like extra like I have chargers. Every cable, like every cable I would need, I'll have. I don't have a lot of them, but they're like just at least one.
Right.
If I need it. I also seen a producer pull up with his own monitors, which I thought was crazy.
His own monitors.
His own monitors.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm sorry. His own interface and connected them to like just some random monitors right there, and just started like
going.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just. You know, so that's a producer tip.
Right, it's like, bring your own interface, bro. I ain't gonna lie. BYO, bring your own monitor. BYO. I'm dead. No, that's funny you said it because I was thinking about as far as the on the go setup and stuff like that. When we go to other studios, it's always like you never know what you're gonna like run into.
Yeah.
And the live mic thing, like I got that from someone else where I have my stage mic that's wireless, just ready to go. So I'm like, here, and they'd be like, what? And they'd be like,
that's cool.
oh, I can just record. So I'd be like,
yep.
remember we do it in my studio sometimes? I'd be like,
yeah.
yo, here's it's plugged into like channel 5. I leave it, and I just turn it on. And I could just let you like record wireless. It is cool because you get a little performance like out of them. So that's why I was like, yeah, like it's cool to have like a scratch, like just a BS like kind of vocal.
The wireless is next level.
That's cool, right? Hey, if you use that, Ms. Dana, let them know. Let them know. So
But I also bring my own mouse and keyboard too.
oh my, what kind of mouse do you use?
Trackball.
You trackball? Oh my gosh, she's a trackball person.
Are you not a trackball?
Yeah, I'm scared of
You're a
that.
magic mouse or you're a gamer mouse?
No,
I'm a
absolutely
magic
not
mouse. I don't love myself. So.
Can I be honest? All right, I know we spoke about the ACL earlier. I feel like the number one problem in audio engineering over the years has to be arthritis.
Oh, for sure.
Because why y'all using the magic mouse over the trackball?
Bro,
the trackball is impressive because I genuinely just can't.
I can't do it.
I can
Yeah,
figure
I
out
hear
the
you.
magic mouse,
Right.
But every engineer that I see that uses the trackball not only is impressive to me, but they're fucking fire.
Yeah, everyone's
they're always
amazing.
crazy,
It's like a
it's
skill. I
quick.
don't know how y'all
Crazy,
use that.
man.
Oh, you don't use the trackball?
No, I use the magic mouse. I don't love myself. I use the
Yeah,
magic
the
mouse.
magic mouse is crazy.
Yeah.
I used the magic mouse not that long ago because I forgot my own mouse. But it wasn't terrible, but
Right.
I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't do that to
Yeah.
myself.
I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
I'm a gamer. I use a Mac, but I'm a gamer. I found this little ergonomic joint that Logitech made.
yeah,
Use the
the-
trackpad?
No, he's saying he used the.
I'm not gonna lie, I like the trackpad more.
That's I never used it, but I can't
kid you not,
imagine.
I
no.
literally bought one for the house because my new setup is plugged in instead of me using my laptop. So I was like, I would lose the trackpad.
That trackpad.
So I just literally bought a side trackpad for it, and I love it.
And it's fine. The trackpad seems weird because you know how when you just like click and make a selection, like you know, like a
But
box.
I use it with the mouse. So if I need to zoom in or like all the gestures of the trackpad, I still keep.
It's still key. Oh, that's weird.
Like the
I don't
swipe
know.
up
I
and down.
can't.
It's fine. Man,
No,
come
the
on.
coolest mouse I've seen was Tizio's. Well, and
yeah, the
David Young, and they
Logitech
use
one,
it.
yeah.
They use the one that's like it. Literally, their hand is like that to the side.
I've seen them.
Yeah,
That's the Logitech. Yeah, that's mine.
I went to the
bro.
store to see it. I was like, that's
Me
an
and
expensive
Tizio, like
mouse.
we gonna have good hands in 20 years. I'm just
Yeah,
letting
facts.
y'all
Yeah,
know.
I'm betting on y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's us with Magic Mouse
The
people.
arthritis, yeah.
Oh, it's gonna kick in crazy.
What? Because it's like one hand is just slamming the space bar all day.
Terrible. So, Crystal, do you have anything going on, like that you want people to know about, etc.? Even just shouting out your studio. I don't know if it's open to the public, by all means. But is there anything that new you got coming up and stuff you want people to know about?
I mean, I'm working on getting a new spot, but
Oh, nice.
that's-
On the way.
it's still very very early on. So
Right.
There's no
Yeah.
Right.
nothing to announce.
Right. She's like, look, I'm just working. Hit me up.
But I did just finish mixing an album for this guy Rob Vicious.
Okay.
So he's part of the Shoreline Mafia.
Yeah.
And I had so much fun mixing that. Like
Nice.
Like he produced 80% of the songs on it.
Right.
So it was pretty cool working with him because he gave me a lot of creative control. And so that's kind of rare sometimes for artists to give you that creative control.
Right.
And it was just like I'll send him a song. He was like, "Oh my god, this is so fire!" Like we were both just getting like super equally excited. about, like,
Good relationship.
yeah.
Right.
So
right.
it was probably like a good like experience like mixing with it, and it was our
Right.
first time working together like that. Like we worked in the past like just random one-off like recording
Right.
sessions, but that was our first time really like collaborating. So it was
locking
pretty
in.
cool. So I'm excited for that to drop.
Right.
And I have a couple other producer albums that I'm working on. Producers been hitting me up. I don't like.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's like the producer year, right? 'Cause
Right.
like
Yeah.
Metro and like everybody's dropping
Producers,
out.
yeah, they like heavy.
Yeah.
Like we're looking for our producers again right now.
Yeah.
So I would say, as far as the mixing is concerned, that's. Would you say is that a newer like kind of venture for you that you're journey? Or I've been on the mixing like heavy.
Oh, I mean, like I've mixed. You know,
Sure.
I mixed like stuff for like G Perico and stuff.
Yeah.
Early on.
Right.
But like the last like I want to say like 2 years, I was really locked in on like being the best recording engineer I could be.
Right.
Just because like when you're doing stuff like at a high level, like you got to make sure you have like no errors.
Yeah.
Right.
So I just like been locked in on like trying to be the best that I could be.
Right.
And like I have done mixes, but right now, like since I got my injury, I had some time off, so I
Right.
was like really like locking in on mixes.
Right.
And I'm getting back on like mixing more now.
Right. Right.
I just I had to take that time to like really be like a good or great recording engineer.
Right.
Because,
Right.
you know, it's a lot of moving parts when you're recording, and this is like maybe a hot take, but like I really like recording over mixing, just because I like being in the room with the artist.
Wow,
I like the
okay.
emotion.
I understand that.
But I know a lot of people don't like mixing
Yeah,
is the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
But I love recording. Like
That's fire.
but I
Okay.
won't do
deeper
it forever.
connection with the
She said,
But I
but
love it.
I'm just saying, no, don't keep me there, though. Give me a chance.
Because it's like when you're mixing, well, like with Rob's album, I didn't record it. He recorded it, but some songs, like I could feel where he was trying to go,
Right.
and I was able to like bring it to like there.
To that,
Right.
Yep.
I don't get that with every artist, but when I'm in the room with the artist recording them, like they'll be like, "Oh, I just broke up with my girl," or you know, they'll come
Right,
in like,
right.
"Oh, this happened or that happened," and then
Right.
like they make a song, and I'm like, "All right, this is the mood he was in. Like, let me,
Figure it out.
Bring it home.
Absolutely.
Right. And that's
yeah."
it.
So I love recording, just for that. Like, I feel like you get to like experience like the artist.
the
one-on-one.
artist.
Yeah.
Right. And I respect that. That's fire.
I actually did
Yeah.
Go ahead.
one last
Yeah.
question.
Go ahead, yeah.
I did actually have, now that you brought up the tracking and mixing side of it. You did a lot of work on the Trust Funds Babies project. What was the most challenging just, I guess you could say, mix from a tracking standpoint or from an actual mix standpoint? You know, I know with Rich the Kid and Lil Wayne, it's like they're very like excited vocal performers and stuff like that. So what song did you learn the most, you would say, from, you know, in terms of how it gave back to your skills on that project?
For that project, I wasn't. I only assisted.
Got you.
Right.
Yeah, I only assisted with that project.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, so
Right.
I wasn't there.
She was like, look, I was
Hey.
touch and go with that.
No, I wasn't. I
Right.
wasn't.
No, of course.
yeah,
I
wasn't
understand. I
there.
understand. And you're still a part of the process, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, in that regard and
Yeah,
stuff
for
like
sure.
that. That's what you
Yeah.
just like tapping in.
Which is so funny because I was literally just having this conversation with my friend yesterday, because he was saying that that, you know, I guess like in the totem pole, it's like assistant recording engineer,
Right.
recording engineer, assistant engineer, and then assistant like mixer,
Right.
and then mixer.
Right.
But I feel like that's kind of like crazy because like when you're assisting, like you're just assisting, you know, but when you're recording, you're actually like in the vibe,
Right.
You know, so I feel like that's a crazy concept, but if that's what it is, then that's what it is.
I get it. Because you're a recording engineer, you're in the creative process.
Yeah, that's what I'm
There's-
saying.
You got
But-
no choice.
But when you're assisting, you're kind of just like just assisting, you know?
Right. Like whatever
So-
you need, and you're like, you know what I mean? Like you're
Yeah.
kind of like, you need, like the recording engineer is leading the way and just giving you direction on what he needs
Or
or
like
she needs.
when you're assisting the mixer,
Right.
You know, you're just assisting.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, whoever would want to like chime in and like explain that to me would be great.
Help me out. For sure.
But yeah, it's just, you know, I feel like you do get to learn a lot of stuff when you're assisting.
Right.
But again, maybe I'm just biased, but I think just the recording is really like,
That's where it's at
Yeah,
for
that's
you.
just
well, like I get it. Sometimes people are like, oh, well, you're just like, if it's like a one-off session.
Right.
Well, even with the one-off sessions, like you still get to like work with the artist.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
But I think when you have a relationship with the artist, it's kind of different too.
I get that. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
And
You value
it's
that.
a more organic
hey,
like
man.
experience
Yeah.
too.
But
Right.
to all my assistants out there, man, that one water bottle could change the whole thing.
That can change the game. Offer your client some water, bro.
And with that, man,
And with that, Cristal, can you let people know where to follow you and things of
Yes.
that nature, if that's cool? Yeah.
So Instagram, crystal.vvs.
Right.
My Twitter is the same, but I'm active on Twitter, but
But not
not as
really.
active as I am.
Us
on
engineers, we haven't migrated over there yet. Like we're just like
for real.
Instagram. Like,
we don't even
I-
got that much to say. It's just like,
yeah. I'm like, all right.
Well, I read tweets.
Oh
but I
no,
don't
I'm a
tweet.
reader. Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying.
And I
Right.
watch TikToks, but I do not post any TikToks.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because it's
Sounds
like,
about right.
I don't know what to post. You know?
Mind you say watch when these clips come out. Watch, you're gonna be like, hey, I'm like, there it goes. All you gotta do is talk about you. Like it works. You're in
Oh,
the mix.
you guys post on TikTok?
Oh yeah, we post everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's like, oh lit. I'm gonna have something on TikTok.
Well, because my TikTok feed is like puppies and
Understandable. We about to mess the algorithm
all of
up.
us just talking about.
I know.
So yeah,
I'm
that's
about to say we about to mess the algorithm up.
I know, like destroy her algorithm. She about to see like mad
Destroy.
plugins and all that stuff. You're gonna see, watch. But once again, I want to give a round of applause to Cristal. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you,
Thank you for
guys.
sharing that
so
game,
much.
especially for a lot of up and coming engineers that are looking to, you know, see and listen to different paths, how you can get into it, and just like, hey, networking was the key for you. And just congrats on everything.
Thank
and you know,
you.
we're excited to see where you just continue to go.
Thank you. I
And that's
appreciate
it.
it,
For
guys.
sure, for sure. And,
And
we
with
want to see you
that-
recover too as well.
Thank
So please make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Remember, one lucky person in the comment section is going to get that VIP Gold Edition Rosetta EQ or compressor. Also, remember, you can become a member of the channel. For instance, our members Ben saw this video. You get money in the store, exclusive videos, all kinds of really cool stuff. Courtney has it on. Yes, he does. That's coming or is out. Just check the link in the description. I'm not sure
Yeah,
yet.
absolutely.
But thank you guys so much for listening, for watching, and until next time, y'all.
And remember, watch out for your XLRs, protect their ACLs.